Hi guys! So something crazy has happened and I've been tagged to do the Booktube Real Talk tag. So thank you to Shell from Fixie Dust for tagging me and to Alyssa J who created this tag. I've never done a tag video before, so this is very new and we'll see how it goes. The first question is, what's something that nobody told you about Booktube before starting your channel? And I didn't talk to anyone about starting my Booktube channel, so no one really told me anything about Booktube. I just kind of decided I wanted to try it out without actually thinking it through properly or asking for advice from anyone. I just kind of went ahead. But something that I have learned during this process is that I didn't realize how many times I would be repeating a phrase to try and say it properly for a camera. No one told me that I would be stumbling over my words and I would have to repeat myself over and over again to try and get something that actually made sense grammatically and logically. So I guess that's something that no one really told me, but that can be applied to YouTube in general. I had no experience coming into this and no expectations really, which sort of leads into the next question, which is, what assumptions did you have about Booktube and were they proven correct or not? Before I started my Booktube channel, I was writing book reviews on a blog and I assumed that it would be basically the same as writing book reviews, but then I just speak it to a camera and just like that, that's how you do Booktube. And that's not it. I didn't realize how much more difficult it would be to articulate myself properly in a way that makes sense but isn't rambly but also gets my point across. Plus then there's the addition of editing and uploading, which everyone has talked about. No one tells you how long editing actually takes, and I had no experience with any of that. I just thought I want to share my opinions on books, so I'm gonna do this. And I found that it's a lot more involved than just sharing my opinions about books. Wow, I've already done this wrong. That was question 3. I'm so good at this tag thing, huh? Okay. Question 2 is, what are your opinions about typical Booktube videos? So wrap-ups and TBRs and hauls. I love wrap-ups. They're my favorite videos to watch because I am watching Booktube for book recommendations for the most part. So the most information I get about books is through wrap-ups. I want to see what everyone's read and I want to see their thoughts on it and determine if I should read it too or if I can pass on it. So when I'm finding new Booktube channels, the first thing I watch is one of their wrap-ups because I want to know if their tastes align with mine or if they're reading things that I wouldn't normally pick up and might actually get me interested in reading them. And I think wrap-ups are really helpful for that. TBR videos I also enjoy watching because I like to know what people are planning to read and then I can sort of try and plan to read things with them, although that hasn't actually ever happened. It's just my wishful thinking that I want to make happen at some point. I still like to watch TBR videos, though I don't really film them as much unless I'm doing a readathon because I am a mood reader and I don't really plan out what I'm gonna read in the month unless I'm participating in a readathon and there's specific challenges I have to go over. Now, hauls on the other hand, I don't really enjoy watching. A lot of the times it's because people are buying books without really knowing much about them, and I am more interested in people's opinions on books or what they're about in general. If they're just buying a book that for some reason appealed to them, that's totally fine. I have no problem with it. It's just that the content that I enjoy watching has a little more information so I can judge whether I want to read the book or not, because that's why I watch Booktube, to decide if I want to read books. I also don't film haul videos because most of my books come from the library. I think something crazy 52 of my 56 books that I read last year were library books, so I'm definitely more of a library person than a book buyer, so I have no hauls to do unless I do random library hauls. I could do that if you're interested. I don't know. But I think those typical videos are very important for Booktube. Question 4 is, what is something you've done that's helped you grow your audience? And I would say participating in readathons and getting more involved in the community in general. Once you start talking to other people in the community, you're more likely to find more people who would be interested in your content. And I found that's really helpful if you're trying to grow your audience. Of course, I have no authority on this subject because I'm less than 100 subscribers, so don't come for me for audience advice. I couldn't give it to you. Question 5 is, what is a common mistake you see new booktubers making, or a mistake that you made? I'm sure I've made plenty of mistakes, but I'm still at the point where I'm very new, so I don't really know what I'm doing wrong yet, and so it's a little hard to answer this question. What I've seen a lot of other people who do this tag say is that new booktubers aren't making the Booktube newbie tag. I didn't do that, so I guess I made a mistake there. I don't particularly like the questions, so I decided not to do it. I know that there are people who will go through the Booktube newbie tag and comment on videos and welcome people to the community, and so it's a good way to kickstart your channel and get people to see your content in the first place, which might have helped me early on in my channel, but at the same time I just wasn't feeling like answering those questions, so I didn't do it, and I don't really regret it. But I guess in some people's eyes that can be considered a mistake. Question 6 is, what are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? And I say go for it. I'm all for supporting creators, especially because this hobby takes so much time and effort. I would say that of course, you have to be honest in your reviews and genuine. You want to maintain your trust with your audience, and as long as you're keeping true to your content and to your own opinions, then yeah, make all the money you want. It's not going to be much in this section of YouTube, but if you can make a few bucks, then why not? Question 7 is, do you think Booktube is dying? No. Not really. There's so many new booktubers all the time, and there's so many new video ideas. People are getting more creative with readathons. There's been so many good readathons recently that I've just been participating in every month, and it doesn't look like that's gonna stop, as I'm going to participate in another one in May, so it's crazy. There's so much growth happening in the community. I've only joined it recently, and I've only been watching a few booktubers for like a couple years now, so I don't really have a history with it. I don't know what it was like before. And I am not really in the know with what it's like now. There's so much booktube content that I can't possibly keep up with. I'm like a month behind in videos right now, so even that is just too much. So I don't really think booktube is dying at all. I think it's growing at a very rapid rate, actually. And then question 8 is to tag your friends. So I'm going to tag these people here, and thank you very much for tagging me. This was an interesting new experience for me, and I'm definitely not an experienced booktuber, and there are so many other booktubers who have done this tag, so I would recommend watching all of their videos and seeing their answers, because they're probably much more informative than mine are. So definitely check them out and spread the love.